okayfm 101.7.
Owura Nsiah, energy policy analyst. Na ye ne drink mo. Eja be me mo ache.
Yeah, Obagame.
Na mbom boko de.
Oba nyame de ache yen pa jona so.
Boko pa. Ensem bi na metiti na me yem hye se Iran ne Israel. Womo ntokwa a womo de abomu yesi efa won womo tu a baabi okro na womo de fa eba ebetim kodi adwaman so na ye war prone area anhwe na saade no entimi anko a fa wobo no ebekosoro ahyase ekro ekosoro a kyese eno enya asem ketwa na yenhwe ade we no of what effect ene beba ewo yen Ghana for so de osusu na niwa
That's for Kwame. You could my fango bono, Nima be an edishable, they are very variable, and back on the drama subo, and exchange rate, no, Nibinabia. And also the last 4 windows na a drama so no, any bono, Sociana Nete, for example, take match data of some of the plat prices, no, I said trading platform prices na diesel. Around $730 per metric, but as at last window, na diesel around $618 per metric. This window na use around 641. Ne bo na edwama so no eko fom kakra mayen kakra. Offer petrol so the same thing somewhere around March, February. Now price no nam $750 per metric. But now we know say no. And also I'm around $700 per metric as at this current window, because one products do not be good market them, and two now their projections say well the no core recession and I say the growth no into me in they will say growth, you know, that demand for oil and cost and a trade. China is a major consumer of petroleum product, no, so any challenges with the economy in terms of consuming petroleum product. Now I'm a bono. 4 na aye and 4 no so nese na OPEC 4 no so person mo crash the shale producers in America no mo so mo push a lot of oil no and the bam nti no ma e bono ba fum and unfortunate for us no so no due to certain market driven indicators and certain homegrown policies we are buying so adapt here no ema yesi no so appreciate it akra ntina ama wono aye 4 future they say because of the Iran Israel conflict, you know, product and then turn around $65 a barrel, no, and then on product, you know, the average barrel no, and around $74 per barrel, and that is Brent. And because of that, nama final product, now the finished product, you know, and also the wide and kakra. And in the current window, you know, use diesel $641 per metric. Next window, we are likely going to use around $718 per metric. This every July corner with a stable seed in Okrano, Fango Bono Bekosro Kakra, maybe around 7% or maybe around 5%, depending on the strength of the CD. These are also petrol and Bekosro Kakra. But beyond first window of July, I first July as no, and yeah, and then price projection the mayor in Kakra because that time no. Will depend on the war no ebeche and as be a war no be by and as a war no be escalate to other areas. For example, when the war na cause war is an Iran between two countries poses in my Iran and target any American infrastructure within the region and Israel so and target any outside infrastructure be apart from so target Iranian infrastructure in their country. This war no be escalate in July and I said 9 days and even not a one escalating Iran target some infrastructure of Americans and Americans be escalate war. No more escalate war 9 days they affect the Strait of Hormuz. Most of the oil products no say affected here and the crude oil price in the cost no now the premiums and as well as the FOB prices of finished products and diesel, petrol and LPG are using the Domo Promano. And also the cost the cost of the and they will use that August mono and share bit tomato product no around 14 to 15 Ghana cedis per liter. But the movie and CD I think the product no still never turn around 12 and then 13 Ghana cedis per liter. Even petrol crunch and taking Ghana cedis per liter by August.
Mami Musa deɛ wei sei ɔman yɛbɛtumi ayɛ policy bi anaa yɛbɛtumi ayɛ biribi ɛtumi de abra first because na we had something called hedging akyire yɛ saa baayɛ di regulation akyire yɛ saa baayɛ ɛbɛnya go for oil seesei koraa de minim policy a yɛrun ne seesei yɛ ankasa then yɛbɛtumi ayɛ.
So hedging no is because maybe even boss our strategic reservoir no of petroleum products no or maybe to me amana hedge to future what the tier premiums be am I boring. But apart from Boston no all the private BDCs now the importers of the products no most of them any tradings are eto free oil traders no because we crew man okay licenses some of the oil traders I think traffic guys here Vitol is here and a BP and so on their license on German should any traders and traders to so no omne ya omutai hodging hedging or one tie hedging yeah BDCs because of your importers no omushedanye because they buy at spot and so that spot on shedanye hedging policy mesa but I buy per se or create some buffer or betima create hedging policy be at bust because on any status reservoir nanka either one top spot area go and as be what clear upfront and as only be a pam based on some premium price on the agree say that you know say na metal product in future say na metal no nti say one kra dru ho kra na sana metal na materials are premium we area amount and also basana who address risk challenges in future but now we know because boss to crown sport products for only be on the product be on a chunk or no grant product behind the gumuna when you sky area hedging so that is off be answer bit me the GMPC and crude no and also actually some hedging policy so be a GMPC crude no be turn upfront and I say the premium there but that's why we ready some of ticket no on be toss premiums so that even the cocoa area one so those scan a bit me area support to your downstream near just can be their two products go but never look at say no saying government the focus any host of bust store products and also be reserve products be an obey go in it because goil and so government our majority stake our goil and the subsidy go energy which may go energy so this particular hedging policy but because of say a market no very volatile no so when you're very careful and so even though you are taking advantage of risk in future no and shana akoboti on and so because others have also done that koyo moka you could hedge and the price the market is very volatile so what hedge you know na price no as na be low crown na premium so what you know abeye woka and I think both for example in this year and what I'm afraid is that omobo kanibisa because na omo hedges and can be a price the cost but I'm cost e bafum the bafum na much higher premiums are any kind so much abeye moka so all these things that I'm bad so mind you need any policy be the other policy me to can say as of mind because of say crude oil ni be no I think you generate around 135 to 140,000 barrels a day and a Kromania consumption around 90,000 barrels a day is a refining to finished products they are around 11 to 12 million liters a day of various petroleum products. Nti no muna bia anka ye tunu krom hanam no anka betumi e de ama the two major refine the whole krom that is toll and sentio so very refining no more feed the market no so that some of this escalation on the international market no and shouldn't affect TMP because products in a free and a refining but to be common we don't have that integrated business model. They are all horizontal business models GNPC LFTR or Cotona Monone Talo LFTR or Cotona Monone and Petro AC also LFTR or Cotona Monone and these guys have their own traders or Motomomo. Even Ghana Crown what the traders or Tomomo, a brown farmer toll and as on farmer sent you. But say critique a vertical model, I think that a buffer and as a bear pushing and as a stabilize the market in any time international shocks will be back because they are products and they feed into our system to refine. And then also we are buying so a lot of revenue because the moment I'm told best that some toll refinery cost to be an refinery margins I'm a company now afan into my first since you also started to refine some corporate taxes and other taxes we are buying Benyano on Benya so the whole value chain in terms of petroleum production and refinery and also retail abay or mining there but as for mine energy ministry the focus in Shedan Koho I'm be a standalone anytime shock the bar on the international market and now other boy and larger they started complaining Elpuma.
Obidi question bi abase fuel a yekraba memu abamu mpanimfo agencies ni departments no use mu be 30% free ebo manka adan ye twetwe omo ka kese ne mo omo anto omo fuel no na sa 30% short for no ebetimi kura abo ma fan no bo akofom eti say.
Yes, I think that one is a bit more can once more the price build up now. It was scheduled from the Unified Petroleum Price Fund. That is today about 90 pesos per liter, and Misusuimono is on a higher side because Unified Petroleum Price Fund and a freight cost, a transportation cost, and to say a shared GPRT for so monte or more transportation cost and also answer fair so. By 15%, it was a Unified Petroleum Price Fund, and also by 15%. But the government is not ready to reduce that particular fair cost or so 90 pesos per liter. So it's cano any tier government or fuel issue. And the last year I checked here, and this year they data BMI, but last year I checked here na Ghana or Motofango no mutia are buying fuel no abusumi biano. Omutia in excess of 40 million Ghana cedis edema goel. Ntina fuel be a police for use, fuel be a fire for use, fuel be a army for use, fuel be a public officers maybe use, government appointees maybe use. Now me no any tier of fuel the man or more, na yetia 40 million. Abusumi be a edema goel say fuel be odiama any of these agencies no. Ya fasa kana, and I think that I was say yesheni be home because. For people to be very productive, very efficient, there was a moment that more fuel because so much more fuel, they feel some of these burden end users may feel. For example, say what fuel, and I say the one Ghana CDC Bekahua, that's a consumer, and I say user may complain, say one Ghana CDC Behamia, also a help because you're also paying for the fuel. But a system they are creating in such a way that public officers always benefit at the expense of the poor. Into your mono muntia, into honum many obi or cancer and maybe a bear drink say, I will see Nema are buying you my phone so into your mom fuel than say ye levy always ye levy the petroleum users will be yourself fuel no edia momo. The second part is that apart from so no you could be bribia. For example, Petroleum Hub Development Corporation me as a center for environmental management and sustainable energy, we know that Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, no, CBO, a corporation, and I was and she the merger with GIPC, that is Ghana Investment Promotion Council, and I said the merger that particular commission or corporation with Free Zones Authority. The India Mason these are investment. Corporations are already the GIPC when it's Canada, to me, they are finding a way to attract investment into a petroleum sector, not a petroleum downstream. But a buyer could create company where Busumi Biano, because I told them buying some frontier transport costs and I buying time a 7 million Ghana cedis at the commercial petroleum development petroleum hub development corporation way. And we don't even know what they are doing. Yes, at the same time, I want to engage Parliament, but their core business is to attract investment or investors into our petroleum downstream, especially area or more earmarking for refineries and then near manner. Of an no crazy one, buying certain to me money started refining. Now, the two anti-man refining are very profitable. Sent you intimate refining and very profitable. What shows that or being to be refining profitable at the time of production has been declining. So that particular vision I see Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, I think that it's a waste of resources. I waste you, but minimum you almost 7 million a month. Someone find the but we give them this money for certain they say stakeholder engagement and things and waste it. And yet are buying fuel and quiet talk. There are a lot of wastage in the system. Any minimum but we are paying for it. And lastly, because of our buying inconsistency with respect to this whole Levy thing, I'm ready for I take advantage of most state products very higher. Because we have indicators and in this particular window offer. Indicators nature sanke will say issue $641 per metric and a share diesel ball. It will say issue $697, almost $700 in the share petrol ball. And CDMA will say issue around 10 Ghana cedis 50 pesos. And I will say the share ball. Now, what even 11 Ghana cedis share ball, Busumi way I shen nasty way 16 free that way. And petrol boy deep pound crumano. 11 Ghana cedis 60 pesos. But the phone curtains on beton 12 Ghana cedis. On beton 12 Ghana cedis because government has reneged on its responsibility to police the industry well. While the industry and will be a DOP. And then diesel boy deeper okrumani around 11 Ghana cedis 80 pesos. But government are reneging the responsibility because on one mukrano or Nimdia also your sector on the taxi bar or Chinamin farmer than at the time they bar or Chinamin farmer because the tax was not even properly planned. No engagement whatsoever, no nothing on tea industry, nothing. And because of that, these businessmen are taking advantage to stay prices higher. Like I say, these are going to be turn around 12 Ghana cedis, 20 something pesos or even 30 something pesos, which should not be so. Because some of these is no premium, even though they buy on spot, now more premium, $180 per metric on diesel. Now, petrol, $180 per metric on petrol as premium. Now my OMC is no 1 Ghana cedi, even 1 Ghana cedi 20 pesos. Product price should not cross 12 Ghana cedis per liter in this window. But because government engine a year or no the only so begging levy or gene levy not all the use the on consumer via home.
I see Minia and your mamma was not missing your pump from my wife. Besbedasi. Obani and Kasa ye Ben Nsiah or your energy policy analyst. Then you know can communicate 101.7. So any
OKFM 101.7.